are you?
Good, man. How you doing, man? It's nice
I'm
to
doing
meet you.
good.
Nice to meet you face to face.
And you can hear me okay, right?
Oh, I can hear you well. No problem. Okay. You can hear me too? No problems?
I can hear you.
All right, cool, man.
It's raining here in Georgia, so it's like gloomy. This light will like reflect weird, so it's like I'm using the sunlight from outside.
No worries, man. I love ATL, man. I love ATL. I gotta get there. I'm trying to get there. Got a lot of peeps I need to see there. You know,
I was just on in LA 3 weeks ago. I saw you talking. I was there when the hurricane. I mean, not the hurricane. Earthquake happened.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, it happened at like 11. My homeboy got the text at like 11:44, but we were driving.
Yeah.
I don't even know. We was driving back into town. We was coming from Pasadena, I think.
Yeah. So, you're right in my neighborhood. That's where I live.
Okay. So it was crazy. So I said, dang, I missed it. You know, I'm from the East Coast. I'm originally from Philadelphia. So I was like, dang. I said, okay, where's the aftershock? No aftershock. Oh boy. It's crazy that I missed it. So I missed it. I gotta catch it next time.
And I guarantee you spend enough time out there, you will catch some. And,
oh my God.
It's kind of funny because I'm so used to earthquakes now. I'm originally from Ohio. Now, when that one happened, like, you know, my wife was like, hey, the bed's shaking. I was like, we're just having an earthquake. My son, he just graduated from college, so he's in his room. He's like, Dad, we having an earthquake. And he just went right back to sleep. And I was like, okay, cool. It was no big deal. You just felt the bed shaking, you know, for about 15 seconds. Then after that, everything was over. I was like, okay.
I was so looking forward to that. And I was like, man.
You will get your chance.
I guess I gotta come back for like a mudslide or something, or something happening over there. So I mean, I was a part of that. You know, I actually was in LA when Kobe died. You know, Grammy weekend. I was there, but that was kind of like, that was just a crazy time because it was like very dark. It was foggy too. You know, I experienced that fog and then the death of Kobe Bryant, and it was just like, come on, like So
it was heavy, man.
It definitely was.
Hopefully, the city will be celebrating tonight. You know?
Yes.
I won't be out celebrating with them. I'll be celebrating my home. They gonna be in the streets. I ain't gonna be in the streets. I'm good. I like to be healthy. I'm good with y'all. But they plan on, you know, having a good time tonight. You know, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get a victory tonight with Black Mama uniforms on. But I don't want to be overconfident.
Right. You know, but it'll be lovely. It'll be lovely to get that win.
It'd be poetic, man. It'll just be beautiful. It's like you couldn't write this story. This is Hollywood. Well, there's Hollywood, so this is Hollywood right here. This is crazy. But man, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a quick intro of you. Quick intro of the show, so people, because this will be also on Apple, Spotify, you know, all the other platforms that my podcast is on, and you will get a copy of the interview as well. Just as I said, you'll get a video copy, everything once I edit it and clean it up for you. And
I started a podcast on through Anchor that drops on like Spotify and all that stuff, so I can put that audio on and shout you out and like just make it a thing, because I did that for somebody else. They sent me the audio and I was able to just say what platform it was, and you know, just so everybody gets the credit.
We'll shout each other out. We'll show love to each other, because that's what it's about, man. We lift each other up. We all rise together. I tell everybody in LA, I say it's enough pie for everybody. You know, I just want a slice. I just want my slice. I'm good. You know, you eat too much pie, you know, you get sick, get diabetes, everything. But I'm gonna do a quick intro. So, everyone, I want to thank you all for watching, for listening to RDC Speak Life Session. My name is Rodney. I am the host and creator of the show. Make sure you rate the podcast on Apple. Make sure you share it on Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor, Castbox. I want to say, give a welcome to the 11 countries who subscribe to this podcast now. Thank you very much. I feel blessed that you guys are open to hearing our voice, and we want to keep encouraging you all to produce your own life. That is one of our main themes. That's our mantra. Today, I am blessed to have my man, Issac M, Hamm, who's going to join us, and he's just going to break it down. He's a brand management expert. You all need to listen. I said brand and management experts. Many of us don't think about that, but we are all a brand. He has a new book also, The Brand Is You. 5 easy steps to develop your brand. So without further ado, you all show some love to my special guest, Issac M.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I did an interview yesterday, and then I have you today, and it's just so good to kind of speak life into people who are unsure of where they want to go. And I'm often reminded, like, when you see other platforms and I'm going to keep them nameless, but you see bigger brands and entities doing these things, but a lot of times I'm always skeptical on the hands-on experience, right? Because we can read Oprah and Tyler Perry, we can quote anybody and everybody, but it's not until you create your own quotes. I just created this quote, leave a legacy, not a problem, and a lot of people have taken to that, and that's something that I can stamp and say, you know what, that's my quote. I have a mantra, the brand is you, and I've been saying that for at least 15 years. Wow. It's just catching on because I'm taking my brand seriously. I'm creating a book. I'm creating blueprints for people who look at my brand and want to know more. But the one thing I do make sure that I share is just to be a little transparent, because we see what's on TV. People see Instagram, but I'm so quick to tell people where I'm lacking in, but where I lacked in, but yet I educated myself to be great in that. So now I can speak, fluently in things, how to write a book. I never thought I would write a book, you know what I mean? But it started up as an ebook, and then the ebook turned into, oh wait, Amazon, I can print it too? Okay, just drop it, because I'm thinking I want to do less than 50 pages. I know my demographic will read, but I know myself, right? So I start with myself. What would I want to see? What would I want to see Issac produce into the world that how would I receive it? And I don't like to read.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
Yeah. And I'm not going to read 100 pages. I have a lot of books, but a lot of them are more like quick books, help, reference how to type, you're learning, but I want to put a book. This is the book right here. The Brand is You: 5 Easy Steps to Building a Successful Brand. And I have a quote on here: live by it, be about it, and stand by it. Because that's another quote. But as you're writing and you're becoming this author and you're just clicking away, you're like, oh snap, that's another thought. That's another saying that I can put out there and let people kind of just eat on that and get motivated by that. So, I always just got to think about back to what I was saying in reference to like the hands-on experience. We can talk a good game. We can, like I said, recite stuff, but it's not until you have, they say 10,000 hours in doing something, you are a professional. Yes. And I'm probably tripled that many hours in the almost 20 years of just being from event planning to now being a brand strategist and manager. And my true love is event planning. That's my ultimate. I tell people all the time, let a light bulb go out, I'm ready to go to Home Depot. I'm ready to, paint the wall back up before the client gets in the room. So those things move me, you know what I mean? And just that interaction too, that one-on-one or that group me with a group of people and stuff. I love that creative side of it.
Oh man. I was like, I'm loving this because you just helping the interview right along. I love having guests like you. I was just like, okay, he's giving me questions. Well, I'm a very good listener. Okay. I've learned throughout life it's better to listen than to talk. Right. Right. I listen more than I talk because I think you learn a lot more and you grow a lot more. So you were talking about the past 15 years. You've been event planning, doing brand management. So how did the book come about? What brought the book about? Was it because people had such a demand to understand what you're doing, or was it just your heart to say, hey, man, I want to put this down on paper so people can pick it up, have a quick glance through and roll through it?
Yeah, it literally just came because, so before this book came about, I already had a book in mind that I already started writing. This is the thing. I started writing a book called The Brand is You. So all my books, they're themed. So The Brand is You is the title. Yes. And then the subtitles are The 5 Easy Steps to Building a Successful Brand. My original book was going to be called, which I'm still going to work on, but that to me just seems more like I gotta wait another couple more years because I feel like that's my life story. But the book is called The Brand is You. I'm not famous, just popular. So the problem was I had to start identifying the difference between famous and popularity.
Okay.
And I say this because I continuously I continuously go into events. I continuously talk to people, and they treat me as if I'm famous. But then I'm like, no, well, maybe I'm just popular. But when you have conversation, you line 5 people up and have a conversation with 5 different, you're gonna get 5 different responses, right? So it's like one may say, yo, you're the man, you're the man. The other one be like, man, that's just Ike. I know him for 20 years. I know him all my life. You see? So it's like I am popular.
Yes.
But am I famous? And then what is fame? Is fame the money, the power, the respect, or is it which one is it? Because you could be popular and be famous. You could have the money and you could have the respect. So it's really just me kind of defining who I am. And then I want to tell the stories of situations where I felt famous and I felt popular when I decided to move to Atlanta. So all these things, because even with moving from Philadelphia to Atlanta, I didn't get kicked out of Atlanta. I mean, out of Philly. I didn't run. I'm not running from nobody. I don't think I have any enemies. I can check my text and my emails. I don't think nobody's threatening me at this present moment. And that's never been my story, right? So, but I know I had to grow.
Yes.
I was too popular in Philadelphia.
Yes.
It was like I moved to Atlanta and they see me with people like Coco from not Coco. Well, that's a good friend of mine, but Lily, because she lives here.
Yeah.
Lily, SWV, and Mila, and I love a lot of old school people. You won't catch me with the young bucks.
Hey, I'm with you.
Those because they can tell you the facts. They can show you the truth. It's just a different conversation with the 90s, early 2000 artists. You know what I mean? I love being around them. But it's every interview I always lose my daggone train of thought.
Hey, well, you with family. It don't matter if you lose it, you'll get it back.
so I didn't get pushed out of Philadelphia, but moving to Atlanta, it kind of threw me into this fame because it's more celebrities here. But people have to understand, in every city there is celebrities. So in Philly, we have Good Morning, we have Good Day Philadelphia, we have Radio 1, we have Power 99. So we have all of those people. My mentor, shout out to my mentor, Deanna Williams, co-founder of Black Music Month. She's a celebrity. Lady B, Tiffany, like all these people are celebrities because that's all we have. And you come down to a place like Atlanta and everybody's on Love and Hip Hop, everybody's on Basketball Wives, everybody is on the corner singing this shoulda, coulda, and they're singing. It's so many different. It's just a bigger monster here. So when they see you with that, then you become famous. But then I'm just like, and I tell people all the time, my friends live in Philadelphia. So when the people I befriend here, I love them. But I love the people from Philadelphia because they ride or die. They're 20 plus years in. I've only been here for 5 years. It seems like I've been here for 20 years, but I can't really put all my trust in that, especially where I want to go. In my future. So I have to protect myself. I know we just trying to sort of follow each other, but like 2 months ago, I started talking about systems, developing that system. Simple things. What's the system of communicating with your friends in this time of you wanting to be an entrepreneur or in this time of pandemic? Because we have to protect our peace, right? So we can't go nowhere. We can go places, but then you got to go. You may go to your cousin's house or your mom's house because you know them and you know something. If you come out with COVID, you know where to go and find them. Like you said, you stick with what you know, right?
Yeah.
So it's like at this time, we need to develop systems, and the system can be you and your wife can have a new system. I'm sure everybody who's married, their system and communication has changed because you guys probably are working from home. Or he's working from home, or you're working out in the garage now, moving the car in and out, and she like, what do you do? That's a new system because now you have to implement exercise, and maybe she has to implement that, and now she has to do it at the house. That's a new system. So simple things are systems where we have to understand that they are happening. So with this system, I had to learn how to let some people go. I had to learn how to stop communicating with people 100% and maybe trickle it down to 60, 50, 30% at a time because sometimes people will drain you and you don't even know that they're draining. Now that we at a standstill where we're kind of like, every day we kind of like don't have to rush to do anything. So it's like you realizing like all my time was spent talking to you. All my time was spent ordering on Amazon. All my time was spent watching Wendy Williams. And I remember I'm testing that. I used to not do work until after Wendy Williams came on. Not because I was a super fan. It was just because that was my norm. I would literally wake up and be off the bed by 9 o'clock. I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years. So I can now, get up when I want to and work up till and then get up when I want to. But I used to get up drink my coffee, literally sit around looking stupid until 10 o'clock. Wendy would come on, and then I would watch her for 30 minutes. 45 minutes if Jamie Foxx or somebody I wanted to see was on and they had a new movie or she was interviewing Remy Ma. You like, yo, those big moments on her show. So, and then 11 o'clock come. Right. And then guess what happened? She got moved up to 11 o'clock. And I said, oh, heck no, I'm not doing it. So I had to make a decision. I can't let 2 hours of my morning be defined by somebody who's a millionaire. Yeah. And somebody who's pre-taping, somebody who's in the bed probably watching herself on TV. You know what I'm saying? And then with this pandemic, when she started doing that internet stuff, I was like, I'm good. And guess what? I started getting up at 6:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. I started going to sleep. Well, I still go to sleep closer to 12 o'clock because anything before 11, I'm up at 1 looking at the ceiling. So but I used to, before the pandemic, I used to work until from 11, drink coffee at 10, no lie. Yeah. 9:30, 10. Yeah. And I would work until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Wow. But I would get so much work done. So now it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm up, looking at the ceiling, run to the bathroom at 7, sit back down, think about what I'm going to do. I'm up by 8:30. Yes. And then I'm active. Oh, I take a nap a day, so don't judge me. I think 30, 40-minute naps are great. See, I can't do it. My naps have to run from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. It has to be on an odd number. It can't be even numbers. Okay. And I don't have OCD. It's just something. It's like it's either an hour and 15 minutes. It could be an hour, but it has to be either hour 50. It's just weird, but yeah, it's a thing. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, creating these systems. So I had to develop a system. I had to literally develop a system like this right here. You can't really see what it is, but it's an expense sheet, right? So what I'm doing is creating this system. So when every month, I know my income, I know what I spent, I know this, I know that. So now it's helping me because now I'm in the market of purchasing a home. So now I have to rush and get 2019 and 2020 together. But guess what? If I had that system, the only thing I had to do was go QuickBooks, press a button, print it out, boom, right? So now what I'm doing is developing this system. So now 2021, I'm good. But also with the system being set, 2021, I can then connect everything to my QuickBooks, and now everything is running. Yes. It's running like it should be, like a Fortune 500 company. Because if you build it, they shall come. All them little quotes that get you motivated. If you what they say, be ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready. That's what I want to do, because even with I love being transparent, because that helps people be okay with being transparent themselves. Even with my business stuff, I had to create a new LLC. I had to get a new business account. These things are going to put me in position to where when a big company say, hey, I want to write you a check, right? Yeah. But they can't write it to Issac Ham. They have to write it to a company. Right. They have to write it to my company, and I can go and deposit, or I can send them my Zelle, and it all matches. And then it's no question of, well, why are you getting $50,000? I mean, the government may ask about that, but the company will be okay to write that check, and I will be able to let it sit in the bank for 2 to 3 days. Yes. And just a quick thing. I worked in 3 different banks. If you build a relationship with your managers, they can anything can be cashed out. So they can do whatever they want to do. The banks can. Let me tell you, I used to work in banks, and it'll be 20 checks, $60,000, and it's the relationship. Once again, it's a system. It's a relationship. You go to the same bank, you speak to the same manager, you remember birthdays, you remember hair, your favorite, you want a Pepsi and some soda. Yeah. Pepsi and some chips. Like those things, that's a system that you develop that you don't even realize that you're developing, but it's a relationship. So relationships are systems that we develop. So how do we interact? So going forward after this, how are we going to react? What is that system? Am I going to retweet your stuff? I'm going to post your stuff. Am I going to have you on my show? Like is the relationship going to continue? So what is that system? So your system may be, I interviewed Issac, I downloaded it. It's up on all these platforms. I'm going to send Issac the whatchamacallit. But your system may be, I'm going to add a survey so I can tell me how I was. Because you want to make sure that you're better for next time. Maybe that blue behind you is not working. Maybe it should be a green drape, and then you can bring in different, make it a digital background. Or maybe you should not have just those things. So if you set a system to figure out what people that are being interviewed see reflection. So my reflection is this music note, and then this right here. And I'm gonna be truthful. This is my roommate stuff. So it looked like I got a lot of degrees and stuff. but that's not mine. Mine is at my mama house in Philadelphia, along with my citations that I've gotten from the city of Philadelphia. My proclamation from Atlanta is here, but that's not on the wall. So,
Okay.
so I am smart, but this is all her. But yeah, so that's a system. So you're gonna get off this interview and be like, damn, I have a system for how I collect the data that I've collected, not even knowing at the end of this interview.
Very true.
So even
Very
with that,
true.
like I created systems with people buy merch from me, like I don't sell my hats. This is like a prototype. But like my shirts, I have a system. How was your interaction? How was your purchase? So they can answer, and I can find out that they enjoyed the packaging of my stuff. It came late, it was broken, it was this, it was that. And now I can fix that, and maybe I have to pick a different way I'm packaging. So those things, so creating a system in this time so you could be ready for 2021. Because we're gonna come out of this pandemic in a sense of we're gonna feel a little more free at some point, because we're not gonna stay in things.
No, we're not.
The new norm is going to be something that we are now comfortable with. Why are we comfortable with doing interviews like this? We're so comfortable literally having on a shirt and having on and being in your underwear interviewing people. You can't go into a 9 to 5 like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, you ain't doing that.
How many times you do an interview and you ain't wash your butt? You like, hey, but I brush, who knows that? This ain't a scratch and sniff type of interview. So it's like, how do we the new norm then becomes, so that system needs to be in place for when the next interview or whatever. So I go on like rants because I get so excited about doing this stuff. And you don't have to be a millionaire to know what you're talking about. You can just know what you're talking about and help motivate people just to be better as a brand. And you introed about the brand, and I've always been a believer that, I have a definition. So I'm from Philly, so the word Jawn, JAWN, means person, place, or thing. Like we could say, oh, that Jawn was crazy, or that Jawn over there, and it's a whole sentence within one word. So brand is a person, place, or thing. So what you're doing is a brand. You are a brand. So this interview, this podcast is a thing that's a brand. Right? Yes. You are a brand. So how are you? So brand is really equaling your reputation. So your brand and your reputation, or you're a good father, you're a good employee, or you're a good driver, a bad driver. Those things are your brand. Like, I'm not going to get in the car with you if you're a bad driver, because your brand
no doubt.
You're a bad driver. So if people start looking at themselves as a brand, they can then be better at what they're trying to do. And on top of that, which goes hand in hand with understanding that you are a brand, is understanding your mission. What is this podcast? What is the purpose of this podcast? Because if you're just interviewing people and then it just sits on your desktop, what's the mission for it? So you just told me your mission was to have this live. You're going to upload, you're going to put it on these different platforms, which is a part of your system. Right. But your mission is to share knowledge with people who don't know me or are not able to get in touch with me. But it makes you look smart because you found people who are educated and that can help. So now I'm helping. This conversation is me just giving my knowledge, right? Right. But you're helping people who can't get in touch with somebody like me. You're providing a platform for people to be educated through your platform. Yes. So now you're the smart one. You know what I'm saying? You're the educated one because you were smart enough and you found your niche when it came down to speaking of your viewership and your demographic. So it's always a reflection when you get good people that can have great dialogue, and it just always makes you look good. So and that's why I want to make sure I cover a full body of information. So when it's then presented on your platforms, you look great, I look great. And at the end of the day, the whole interview then becomes a great interview. So,
oh man, I feel like I ate like 7-course meal right now. And you know how you just kind of want to sit back and unbuckle your belt a little bit, but I really do. I feel so full of everything you shared, and some of the principles you definitely brought out. One that really stood out, it's in the Nipsey Hussle song when he says, "Circle got smaller, everybody can't go." When you were talking about how you had to decrease who's around you. And that's like cutting the weight. You're not trying to be mean to people. Right. But if somebody is not on the bus with you, they can't ride with you. Yeah. And can you speak to that? Because I know a number of people who want to do certain things in life, but they still have these other weights that's just pulling on them, and they don't release it, and they never advance. So, would you mind speaking to that a little bit more?
Yeah, you have to, one, you as the person need to be strong enough to have that conversation, right? Because you can do so much. You can, you know, drop the crumbs and the breadcrumbs that feed them and get them to understand what they're lacking, right? But then it's like over a time you have to, because you're going to wake up and you're going to say, "Okay, God, what are you saying to me? Okay, this is what I need to do."
Right.
Excuse me. And then that's that conversation with you and whoever you serve, right? Or
Yeah.
whoever, whatever mental thing that you came up with.
How
So
they
you have to
process.
you have to be strong enough to hear that voice.
Yes.
And you have to, that's like having a friend that keeps on getting locked up. I'm actually watching the show Suits, right? That came on USA. So I found it on Amazon Prime. So the character who's just two main characters, but the one character has his friend that keeps on getting locked up. So the lawyer is like, you got to cut him off because an addict is going to keep on coming back and keep saying sorry, keep on saying sorry, and they're going to keep on coming back. So you have to treat those people as that addict that's going to keep on coming back.
Yes.
Because you have to know where your destiny. You personally, it starts with you. And if you don't believe in yourself, you're just going to always keep these leeches around you. You're always going to keep people that's just hanging around and stopping you from, just from being who you are set to be.
Yes.
So you have to just be strong enough to cut them off or lessen how much you are telling them.
Yes.
I want to tell a story, but I don't want to tell a story because it's like, still watching your Instagram and this person, I do genuinely love this person as a person, but sometimes you have to separate yourself and identify that some people are just not good for you.
Yes.
Because they drain you and you keep on trying to justify why you keep on going back. And then you get key, and then it's cute. It's things that they do that we should identify and be like, you know what? You really don't care if you're able to dismiss one part of my life, then you might as well just dismiss the whole thing. And so I need to remove myself.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the brand is you. You are you. Your reputation is all. That's all we have. We can be broke. We can be living on the corner, but our reputation, our brand, and all that is still you. At the end of the day, you have to maintain a good quality in life and of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you're a liar and everybody know you're a liar, then that's who you are.
Yes.
But then the flip side, though, you have people that are scammers and liars, and they're sitting in. But that's another story. But us that are good people, our time is going to come, and we just have to learn how to work around all the people who are scamming in this system.
Yes.
And segue into a book that I'm actually, it's a workbook. They call it playbooks now, and once again, it's the brand is you, changing your perception. And I think, okay, you about to get an exclusive.
Okay? Okay. Yeah, everybody, you guys hear that? You're getting an exclusive little news flash that came across.
So this is the mock-up of the cover of it. So I don't know how much you can see, but it's called "The Brand Is You: Changing Your Perception." Right. So the book is a workbook, a playbook. So on here it says 80% perception, 20% reality. So what I want to do with this workbook is help people understand that it should be 80% reality and 20% perception.
Okay.
So when we look at Instagram, we look at our resume, we look at our electronic press kit, we make it look really beautiful and we want people to come, right? That's the purpose.
Yes.
But out of that 100%, how much of it is reality? Like, how transparent are you? Because you have people that's out here scamming. You got people that's living in a house with 5 other people and saying that it's their car and they driving the same car, right? So the perception is that they drive a nice car and they live in a nice house, but the reality is 6 other people living in this house with them, and they're only paying 1/4 of a bill.
Yes.
So, but they look good. They got on the new Jordans. They got on this, but the reality has to be greater than the perception, because you want to live on truth. So the workbook is really going to teach you on knowing who you are.
Yes.
So in the book, like SWOT analysis, it's going to help you with it's a couple of activities. SWOT analysis is also a vision board, and these things are going to help you with the truth of who you are. So basically, it's kind of play on words because you want to identify what your brand is and your mission. So at the end of the day, the reality, you want to know more of your reality of who
Yes.
you are as a brand. And you can take that and say who you are as a whatever way, but you as a brand is going to have a stronger reality opposed to the perception.
Okay.
So if you sit out here saying you're a business, but your business ain't right with the government or the state that you're in, right? But then if you get yourself together, the reality is you have a business.